This is the Franchise Thunder Report, presented by Massengale Eye Care, Oklahoma City's leading eye care provider since 1989. Call 631-2020.
Greetings, Thunder fans. We have a lot to do on today's Franchise Thunder Report. Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Billy Donovan all have things to say about the gruesome injury last night to Boston Celtics forward Gordon Hayward, plus a look ahead to Melo's reunion with the Knicks tomorrow night, and Paul George reflects on his recovery from his gruesome injury several years ago. That's all coming up on today's Thunder Report.
It just brought me back to, Vegas and, when it happened to me, my incident. I felt devastated. And I was like nauseous watching it, just going back to that place. So immediately after it happened, I texted Gordon. We talked last night. I just, try to give him words of encouragement and just try to be there for him.
Is the thing he's facing more, is it the physical or the mental part?
It's both, man. It's both. Gordon he's never dealt with something as bad as that, and then you're dealing with, especially game one of the season. It's just unfortunate. So it's a little bit of everything. It's physical, it's mentally. I'm sure emotional. He's in a different state of mind. It's just a bad timing for that, and it's honestly it's hard to get over that. For me it was just hard to see that.
Well, when you're coming back from an injury like that, at what point, how long does it take before you're not thinking about it anymore, either in your life or on the court?
You always think about it. I have a bump on my leg for the rest of my life now, so I always think about it. It's always there. And then just being on the court, I'm not as explosive. I'm not as bouncy as I was. It's something I got to live with now. Thankfully, I was able to gain, mentally and learn the game a different way, spending my time off. But it's always going to be a part of his story.
It seems like there was an outpouring of support from players around the NBA, people around the NBA. Will you just kind of describe that type of support that exists around the league when this type of thing does happen?
Yeah. I think we do a great job as players to kind of pick one another up. At the end of the day, man, this is a brotherhood, and we genuinely care for everybody's health. Health is most important. So I've been there. I know what that outreach did for me. So I wanted to be there for Gordon in his time and needs, and help pick him up. And hopefully I could be one of the best influence going through that.
Melo, what's the preparation for the Knicks been like on the floor?
Oh man, we had a kind of a total lockdown, from a mental standpoint today. Really tightening up kind of what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, how we want to come out the gate for the first game, and kind of the tone that we want to set, coming out. I think the tone that we set tomorrow will be the tone that we'll carry throughout the course of the season. So it's important for us to come out and set a good tone from the beginning.
Melo, how do you balance the fun part of being with a new team and a new start with the serious part, with what your goals still are in the NBA? What's that? How do you view that balance?
Well, I think the fun part is knowing what our goals are, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes the game fun. That's what makes us excited. That's what gets us motivated, because we know the talent level that we have on this team, and we're excited to get it going and get it, get this season, going, not preseason, but regular season, and see what this journey brings us with with a lot of hard work, with a lot of commitment. So I think the fun part is knowing what our goals are.
Do you sense yourself being a rallying cry for teammates tomorrow night?
A rallying cry?
Yeah.
Maybe after the game, but not during the game. This is an important game for me because it's an opportunity for me to go out there and kind of close that chapter. I don't think that chapter has been closed yet. I think tomorrow with me running out on the court in a different uniform kind of closes that New York chapter for me. So.
What do you recall of the first time you faced the Nuggets? Was it odd or?
I was fortunate in Denver when I left because it was lockout, and then I didn't have to go there until about a year and a half after that. So everything kind of died down a little bit in Denver. So I had some time to, for things to kind of blow over.
I'm sure for Carmelo, there's obviously feelings there. He lived in New York growing up for a period of time, and he obviously has a lot of strong feelings towards the city. He worked for the organization for quite some time, so I'm sure for him there's emotion there, and I think our guys will support him, and the fact that he's with us now, he's with the Thunder, and we're going to play them twice a year, once here, once there. But I think our guys have been very supportive of all the new guys that have come in, whether it be Patrick or Raymond or Paul or Carmelo.
But you don't mind that they do that they make a special effort for Carmelo?
I don't know if I'm going to say they're going to make a special effort. I mean, I think that these guys are professionals and they're going to go out there and do their job. I don't know if it's because of the Knicks that there's going to be a special effort there. I think our guys are going to try to play hard for one another just because that's what they do. Like, I think for a guy like Russell, who being with him now, starting my third year, he doesn't really get wrapped up in that stuff. He's just going to go out there and play as hard as he possibly can, regardless of who it is. And that's what I would expect our team to do. I don't want our team saying, well, we're going to give a special effort for Carmelo because it's the New York Knicks. But then, you know what, there's no tie to the next team we're playing, so whatever happens, happens.
Well, there is the Pacers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to have every game like that, So I don't necessarily, view it that way. And I think our next game after this one's Utah, so we got a little time before then. But yeah, I mean, our guys, it's about our team. You know what I mean? It's just about that. And I get, believe me, I've been around enough of them. I get the storylines. I understand them. But that's really not my focus or our focus as a team as much as is, can we go out and play well? And then coming out of the game, what do we do moving forward to get better?
What do you know about Patrick and Raymond?
Raymond and Patrick were both in contact today. It would be, I think, the same situation, as it was today, getting some feedback from them. We'll have shoot around tomorrow at 10, and I'd say probably after shoot around I'll have a much better feel of where both guys are at physically. But both guys were able to do. We didn't do necessarily a lot of contact today. We had some, but they were involved in all of it.
Billy, you see what these guys put into it, even more than most from a high school level too. What were your feelings or thoughts about Gordon Hayward last night?
I mean, your heart just goes out for him. Those things are very, very difficult, and you feel bad. I've always admired and respected the way he's played the game, to have the season end for him and so soon. Just hope he has a speedy recovery and get back playing.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Franchise Thunder Report. Don't forget, our pregame moves to Heyday, Lower Bricktown, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Desmond Mason, Andrew Gilman join me for the franchise best coverage of the Thunder in pregame activities tomorrow evening. And, of course, after the game, Jerry Ramsey, John Hamm, and Matt Ravis will take your telephone calls immediately after the final buzzer. Again, back live at Heyday in Lower Bricktown tomorrow evening. Thank you for watching this edition of our Franchise Thunder Report. From the Integris Development Center, I'm David Garrett on Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise Oklahoma City, 107.9 The Franchise Tulsa.